Franklin, how are you, brother? Melody,
Great, guys.
make sure
Welcome.
let's see.
Okay, how's this? Is this better? Coming through clear?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I want to see all your beautiful faces. Come on now, don't be hiding. There she is. We'll give people a few minutes to come in. Maybe if you guys got a second, just drop in the chat where you're at in the world. Let us know. Looks like we got 20 folks here now. Vancouver, welcome Vancouver. A lot of you guys coming down here. Florida, love you, Amy. And Juan, Franklin, good to see you, brother. Billy's in California. Where in Cali are you, Billy? Singapore. Love that. Ah, nice. Joshua Tree. I was in Thousand Oaks for 20 years, so I know the area well. Boise, baby. Alex, how are you, brother? I love Boise. Beautiful town. Good energy there. Cold winters, though. Brittany, how are you? Great to see you. Atlanta, good to see you. Alec, how are you, brother? Good to see you. It's been too long, my friend. I gotta bring up the full grid here. This is awesome. I figure out how to get my more faces in here. Here we go. I figured it out. Alicia, good to see you. Emily, great to see your beautiful face. Awesome. Yeah, so what we're going to do this evening, Lee, good to see you, brother. What we're going to do is if you guys have questions, if you can just type in the chat, all caps question, and add your question. We'll make sure at the end that we cover all the questions and we can open it up and open mic and get questions answered. I think, let's see, what's the time here? It's 3 minutes after. We'll give a few more minutes, but you know, don't hesitate to drop in questions, even if you have them now, so that we can make sure they get addressed. And at the end, we're going to make sure all the questions get answered, and we're open to ideas and feedback as well. This is a culmination of consciously me taking compassionate action towards manifesting a community, a conscious community. I interviewed over 100 people that could share with me what they wanted to see in a conscious community. I spent, since late 2019, I spent a lot of time here in Nicaragua. I live here now. I've been here for a year. I moved from the United States, from California, and I've looked at a lot of land here. I've interviewed a lot of people, and Source, God, whatever you want to call it, the universe brought me to Arnold, who had already seeded this idea back in 2007. And he's finally been able to bring it to fruition for all of us, to really usher in abundance and address the needs of the people, as opposed to just creating a neighborhood where people can buy a home and not really considering true conscious community and what's needed for people to thrive. And tonight is just a special moment for me to be able to connect with all of you, having you all here, sharing this moment where I've, you know, been able to culminate all the pieces of the puzzle to pull it together to ultimately manifest something to where we can come together, like-minded people who want to share and co-create in a space and live as a group that's helping each other and others inside and outside of the community. It's really just from the bottom of my heart, you guys being here and experiencing this moment with me, it means a lot to me. And many of you have provided me with so much feedback and thoughts and ideas and really expanded on the original concept that I had. And obviously with Arnold and his experience in the space and all the stuff that he's done here in Nicaragua, it's just created such an abundance of universal flow in this project. And it's just an honor for you guys to be here and to be with you this evening. Thank you for taking the time to take a look at what we put together for you. I will say that we have created so much abundance in this community for each of you that we will go through the presentation fairly quickly so that we can get to the Q&A section, as well as, really looking at the homes, so that if you decide to be a member of this community, you'll know exactly what you're getting, and you'll know exactly what the costs are and how things are flowing. But I'm super excited to take this opportunity to really see all of this come into fruition. Each of you are participating in that, whether you realize it or not. Just being here and putting your energetic into this presentation tonight is creating and manifesting what we're doing here. And I hope that you'll be open and honest with us and share with us your thoughts and concerns and feelings and what you think about what we put together, so that we can continue to improve upon it as we build it. And with that, I want to hand the presentation to Elena. She's helping us coordinate all of this. Without her, she's the glue that's making a lot of this happen. And she's so important to this project. And I want to give her an opportunity to share with you guys some of her thoughts about this project and what it means to her. Elena?
Hello, everyone. I'm Elena. Thank you, Justin. Thank you. I would say you are one of the biggest parts of all this movement and everything that's going on. And thank you very much. Once again, I'm originally from Siberia, been living here for 12 years. And from the day one, I'm in love with this country. And for the last 9 years, I've been working with projects in San Juan del Sur. I'm totally in love with something new that was created, which you will hear about today. And I'm very happy to be part of it. And especially to be directly in touch with every one of you who will be interesting and to answer all your questions and help you to become a homeowner and member of this beautiful community. And thank you to Arnoldo, who is the founder and the ideologist and the head of the train. And I will pass you the word on it.
Thank you so much, Elena. Thank you, Justin, for your kind introduction. You've been, a driving force, an incredible energy and an incredible human to help us achieve this vision. Thank you, Elena, also for being such a train, such a driving force to get this going. Both of you, I feel extremely honored and thankful for your involvement in this project. So I don't know if you want to wait a little bit, Justin, for more people, or should we get going? It's 10 minutes almost past 6, so if you tell me to go, I'll get the train going. Okay, so
let's do it, brother.
Let's do it. Okay, let's go. Well, first of all, my goal today is to give you a clear enough vision of the community we're trying to build, so you can decide whether this is a community for you. And if you think it's a community for you, we want you to get involved in the co-creation of this community. It's a complex project, and complexity can only be achieved through diversity. So we want everyone in the community to contribute. And that's the essence of Ubuntu. To give you a bit of, to understand what the agenda is going to look like, I wanted to run through the agenda so you know what to expect on this call. First of all, we'll speak a bit about us, the sponsors, and our experience, just so you know who's talking to you for the next hour or so. Then we're going to get into the Village Farms framework and how we created this framework and why. Then we'll get deep into the Ubuntu and the site location and the context. We'll talk about the principles and values of Ubuntu. Then we'll run into the amenities and the content and the visuals of the project. And then we'll look at the residential options and the Bosque de Mahahual, which is the first phase of the project that we're launching. Then we'll speak a bit about the reservation process, so you know what to expect if you want to move on with this community. We'll jump to different platforms so you can see a bit in more detail how the proposal looks like. And then we'll get into the Q&A section so you can, if I wasn't clear enough, any missing item, any question you have, any even suggestion you might have, please feel free to give us your ideas. So to start with the sponsors, those are my parents. They moved to Nicaragua 47 years ago. Both of them are French. They came to Nicaragua when they were 22 and 23 years old, fell in love with the country, stayed here. Unfortunately, my father passed away last year in April, but he's still very present in everything we're doing, and this project is a legacy to him. He's an agriculture engineer. He started working in agricultural projects in Nicaragua 41 years ago, specifically in coffee and cocoa. Then my mom, who's passionate about education and community development, started the foundation. My dad was the caterpillar opening the roads, and my mom was coming in the back putting flowers and bringing the community together. So the foundation, the Nica France Foundation, has been working for 28 years on social development. 23 years ago, they also decided they want to start planting trees on all the farms and create natural reserves, private natural reserves on every farm they had. So they bought the property where Ubuntu sits now in 97. They started planting trees on it. They planted 1.2 million trees. And after planting all these trees, they decided maybe we should share this property with the world. And at the same time, we started a company called Simplemente Madera, in which I've been involved for the past almost 20 years. We had a lot of trees coming in, so we needed to learn what to do with those trees. So we started a manufacturing company for furniture and prefab wooden structures. And the first project we designed and built and was Morgan's Rock 17 years ago. So that's a bit the story of how we created Morgan's Rock and how we bought the property. I'll dig a little deeper into my experience and Simplemente Madera, just so you feel you know the experience we've accumulated over the 20 years. We're not new to development, so we want you to feel confident we know what we're doing. So Simplemente Madera has dealt with a lot of different clients. We've dealt with high-end architectural firms like Morphoses, like Hart Howerton, Commune. If any of you are architects, I'm sure you heard about these companies. We've also done furniture for known brands like Four Seasons, like New Hotels, 21C Hotels in the US. And we've also done boutique hotels for entrepreneurs that wanted to create their own vision with the Jicaro Island and in Granada. If some of you know Nicaragua, you probably heard about this place. It's a beautiful little boutique hotel on the islands. We did Calala Island on the Atlantic coast here. We did a lot of work on Necker Island too, also in the BVI's, Sir Richard Branson's private island. We also did Anegada Beach Club in the BVIs. It's a prefab glamping units. So what I'm trying to show you here is that what we're trying to achieve in Ubuntu is a natural progression to what we've been doing for the past 20 years. Here are some of the projects I mentioned. This is the Jicaro Island in Granada. These are the cabins being prefabbed in our factory. This is the cabins already installed on the island. We had to bring barges and have all the panels pre-assembled and then put together on the island. These are the Richard Branson's trusses for his huge palapa he built on the island. These were massive. They went on flatbeds and then put together in the BVIs. And that's what it looks like, the finished product. It's laminated timber. If any of you likes wood construction, you can probably understand what I'm saying. This is a house we did in Huacalito for David McClay. He's the guy that designed the 18-hole golf course for them. This is a custom house we did in Balcones de Mahahual. It's part of the Ubuntu community. We'll talk about a bit more about that later on. But and this is the Morgan's Rock cabins, the villas, and this is Calala Island on the Caribbean. This is the island that did a big marketing hit because they were trying to pitch the most expensive private island in the world, and they were trying to sell it for $1 million for a week. I don't think they got any sales, but it got a lot of publicity. It's a beautiful island on the Pearl Keys in the Atlantic coast of Nicaragua. So along those years, we built a beautiful team of people with a lot of expertise. This is the Simplemente Madera team. That's you might recognize that guy in the back there. And what happened in 2020 is that with COVID, all our markets basically disappeared. Hospitality went bonkers, and we went from a lot of work to no work. We had to let go a lot of beautiful people that we had for years working with us. And it was a very, very hard time for us. So for the past year and a half, we've been thinking, what can we do? How can we create more resilient models where if another pandemic happens, or you don't leave people hanging, you don't leave rural communities like in San Juan del Sur, that a lot of these communities lived off tourism, and suddenly there's no tourism, so they don't have the resources to have a decent living. Morgan's Rock, we had to give away a lot of food packages for all the communities around us because all these families lived on tourism. So we came up with the Village Farms concept, and it's basically a framework that tries, it's a new concept, but we're trying to create regenerative and resilient agri-food communities. Basically, we're trying to use our experience in design, in manufacturing, in hospitality, in conservation, community development, to create an example of what a regenerative agri-food community could be in one of our properties. And what do we call a regenerative agri-food community? It's basically a place where local and healthy food can be produced on site, so you rely less on logistics and transport. Smart and sustainable housing solutions, outdoor activities in unique natural settings. We all know what it was like for people who lived in big cities that didn't have space where they could go out during the pandemic, or even if they had kids, it was even worse. So we want to give people the access to live in a place where whatever happens, they can go outside, they can walk on the beach, they can take a horseback ride and walk on the forest. Then we want to create a rich and cultural and social agenda. We want people to have fun. We want, food festival, music festivals. We want art. We want a connection. So that's where you guys come in, and we'll talk more about that. We also want inclusive housing options. We want houses for everyone in the community, from the person that wants a second home, to the artist who wants to create content for the community, to the cleaning lady who's gonna be helping you on your house. Everyone can live in the community, so we all feel part of the same place, and the quality of life for everyone is ensured. A high-speed internet and technology is a must. We know that. We live in the 21st century, so everyone needs a good internet connection. And we want to incorporate the circular economy mindset. And what I mean by circular economy is how can we create most of the basic needs that the community will have to have them within the community. So food is a big one. Obviously, we want to have organically and locally produced meats, vegetables, and fruits. We want water, low consumption, and water recycling technology. So we preserve that. We want energy, also on-site energy production, and then furniture and housing built on site. As I mentioned before, we have a lot of trees planted on the property, so we're going to use that wood to build the homes on site. We're going to continue planting trees as we use those trees and create a model where if you have a chair, if you bought a dining table and something happens to it, you don't need to wait 3 months for an importer to bring a chair from China. You can just go to the workshop, which is 5 minutes from your house, and get it fixed. And you're also fixing carbon on the community. So that's what I mean by circular economy. More resilience, less vulnerability on international logistics. So Ubuntu is our first attempt to build a regenerative agri-food community. And we love the Ubuntu name because it means so much. As Nelson Mandela said, it's the profound sense that we're human only through the humanity of others. And that if we are to accomplish anything in this world, it will in equal measure be due to the work and achievement of others. So we really want to bring the spirit of Ubuntu to our community. As we've discussed with Justin, I always tell people the best version of me is we. So we need community members to get involved and co-create this community. Location, for those of you who don't know Nicaragua is in Central America. It's the project sits in the department of Rivas. It's near San Juan del Sur. It's 10-15 minutes from San Juan del Sur. San Juan del Sur is the second most popular tourist town in Nicaragua. It's a beautiful little town. It's a walking distance also from Maderas Beach, which is a very popular surf spot in Nicaragua and the region. There's actually the Central American Surf Tournament happening this weekend in Maderas. It's also walking distance from El Aguacate Natural Reserve. It's the private reserve we created in Morgan's Rock, which is a sanctuary of fauna and flora. You can see all sorts of monkeys, 3 types of monkeys: spider monkeys, howler monkeys, and white-faced monkeys. You can see sloths. You can see a big number of birds. It's a beautiful spot. And also you have access, a walking distance to 3 different beaches: Mahahual, Playone de Mahahual, and Maderas Beach. So this is San Juan del Sur. It's a very picturesque town. It has a lot of little restaurants. A lot of the expat community is growing, and it's pretty big. So you have bakeries, you have French people doing cheese, you have surf shops, you have cool little restaurants. There's the Royal Caribbean cruises come to the town. So it's a very lively town. Development is more traditional, a lot of concrete, a lot of land movement. So we're glad it's there, but we're 10 minutes away from there, and this is what we have in our community. It's a beautiful green area, and you're in the middle of the forest with animals around you. 3 beautiful beaches that you can access to from the community: Mahahual, Playona de Mahahual, and Maderas. So this is where the community is happening.
It's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible down there. The energy on the land is just incredible. I've been to all parts of Nicaragua, and each area of Nicaragua has its own unique experience. And there are a lot of places that have great energy throughout this country, but that land, there's something about that land that really resonates with me deeply. So it's, we've given several tours already on the property, and we can do that for those that are here in Nicaragua. And I will tell you, it's like going into another world. I mean, it's incredible.
I've been going there for the last 25 years almost with my kids. I got 3 kids, and we never get tired of it. It's just such a peaceful and energetic place. So we're glad we can share this with more people. Pueblo Verdes, I wanted to talk a bit about Pueblo Verdes. Pueblo Verdes is actually the larger area. We're aligning property owners in the area to create biological corridors for animals and fauna and flora, and also nesting grounds for migratory birds. This is a project we're doing with Coastal Solutions Fellowship and the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. So what we're trying to do is create a green destination, not only in our community, but convince other property owners in the area to do the same. So the whole area is a resilient and regenerative area. You can see there what Pueblo Verdes looks like. So this is the Morgan's Rock property. You can slightly see the land strip you can see it there. The rock, I don't know if you see it, that's near the Madera spot. But I just want you to get a sense of what the landscape looks like. So we define what the principles and values of this community will be. Again, the Village Farms is a framework that we want to apply to different communities, but every community will have its own identity. So this is the identity of Ubuntu. We want wellness to be a part of our values: active lifestyle, healthy food. We want arts and humanities. We want to incubate, celebrate art, music, food, craftsmanship. So if any of you are artists or music fans or chefs or craftsmen, please get involved and help us build a great agenda of activities. Walkability, we're trying to create parking areas that are peripheral to the community. So if you have kids, they can be running around in a bike, or you don't have to worry about cars running around. Environment protection, as I said, we created a reserve in Morgan's Rock, but we also want to create a lot of green areas within the community. And when I speak about regenerative communities, conservation is not enough. Conservation is just keeping what's there, but what regeneration means, we're going to make it better. And we're going to make better the environment, but also we want to make better humans. And that's the whole point about our community. So we want diversity. We want to embrace and nurture social and cultural diversity. We want inclusive housing for different economic segments, but we also want cultural diversity. We want expats from different places. We got Canadians, Americans, Europeans, Australian, New Zealand. I'm French originally. Nobody's perfect. I'm sorry. Sustainability is also a big component. As you know, we're trying to work the financial model so we can keep the fees as low as possible, and we can also subsidize some of those fees. As the community creates content, then everyone will benefit from creating more content and more life in the community. We also want to keep an open heart and mind to innovation and adaptability. We're always ready for new and better ways. Somebody was asking us, do you take crypto as a payment? Sorry, we live in Nicaragua. We're a bit, but we're looking into it, and hopefully soon we can take cryptocurrencies for payments. So what I'm trying to say is we're always going to be open to new and better ways of doing things. And then efficient water and energy consumption is fundamental. So the result of those values and incorporating the framework is a master plan, what we call a regenerative master plan, that has three main pillars. One is well-being, the other one is sustainable landscape, and the other one is community engagement. We want people to feel connected to nature, we want beautiful landscapes, and we want people to feel connected amongst each other. So for the well-being component, we have access to 3 beaches, we have 30 miles of nature trails, we have the Pitaya Beach Club, the Paslama Spa at Morgan's, the yoga platform at Morgan's, and the fire station and emergency room. We want to make sure if there's an emergency, we can take care of it. Morgan's Rock has a land strip, so we can stabilize people on the emergency room and then send them to Managua if they need to get treatment in a first world hospital. For those of you who know Managua, Villampela has a first world hospital with very good service. Sustainable landscapes is basically the animal farms, the vegetable farms, the natural reserve, the plantations, the modular home facility, and the solar park. This is basically when you're driving through the community, all the sustainable landscapes that you're going to see. And then the community engagement component is all the things that are going to allow you to connect with other members of the community. So first of all is different residential developments for different target audiences. La Finca Mahahual, that's going to be the farm where we produce all the vegetables and the pet zoo for kids. The community center, I'll share more about what's going in there. The farmers market, the event center, the co-working space, and the technical school. So we can all celebrate life, nature, and family together. So again, I want you guys to think this is a community that if you want to join, you need to get involved. That's why we asked you what your passions are, what you love to do, what your experience is. We want you to bring that knowledge, that experience to the community so we can create an amazing calendar of events, activities, programs in arts and humanities, in music, in wellness, in culinary arts and food, in personal development and retreats, environment, regenerative agriculture programs. The Fab Lab help local communities have more technical capacities, permaculture, farming, and I'm sure the list will go on. I've seen, we already have members that want to put a hotel for pets. I don't know how you call it, Justin, correct me. There's a term for it. But, there's going to be so much abundance of ideas and programs that we can create if you get involved. So this is the heartbeat of the community is going to happen here. As developers, we're planning to give back to the Institute on the real estate sales. A portion of the sale is going to go to the Ubuntu Institute, and a portion of all the rentals of the amenities are also going to go to Ubuntu. So we want Ubuntu to have all the resources to thrive and create the programs for the community. The vision is that the calendar of activities of the community is just amazing, that there's always something to do, as a concert, a food festival, a culinary class, a yoga retreat. So this is the vision. We want a full calendar of events in well-being and sports and kids activities and in workshops and community activities. Okay, amenities and content. In terms of amenities and content, here we're going to start getting into the visuals. So far, we've talked about concepts and what's included on the community, and now we're going to start seeing what it looks like in in the material world, in the physical world. So first of all, the Finca Mahahual, that's where we're going to be producing the vegetables. The animal farm is going to be there, the food production, the organic agriculture with hydroponics, permaculture. We're also going to be doing apiculture with local bees that are very small and non-aggressive, but they're very good at pollination, so they help vegetable production. We're also integrating, sorry, I forgot, medicinal plants, local medicinal plant and practices. There's a lot of interesting plants that locals use that we are not used to as Westerners, but we want to recuperate some of that and restore some of that knowledge. So that's what the farm is going to look like. This is the farmhouse. That's where the production of the farm is going to be displayed. We're also going to have additional products that can't be produced, unfortunately, yet on the community, like wine. We all want to have our cup of wine when needed. We're going to have a coffee shop too, and we're going to have a professional kitchen for the community. The idea is that the kitchen can serve, events, weddings, retreats. It can also be used for pop-up dinners. If there's chefs in the community that want to create an event, they can use that kitchen and create that event in the community. We don't necessarily want to have a restaurant there. We want more diversity. So we want this to be a very, changing menu and very active and dynamic space. Then the farmers market, that's where you're going to connect with local artisan and entrepreneurs, farmers, artists, food artisans. This is a place where you can go hang out with your kids, with your friends on the weekend and buy local products and produced within the community, in the outskirts of the community. It's a nice little space. The idea is that we have also a little band playing on the weekends. It's going to be a fun space to hang out. So we're not just focusing on the life next to the beach. We're also creating additional content. So you can change settings along the day. So this is more images of what the farmers market is going to look like. Then the Pitaya Bahia Beach Club. This is a beach community, so obviously we wanted to make an amazing beach club with a nice restaurant, with plenty of water sports, beautiful kids recreational areas. I got 3 kids, so I want my kids to have a blast there, and I hope all your kids will have a blast there too. The beach club is going to give access also to all the hiking and biking trails within the reserve. So there's going to be 30 miles of trails that all beach club members can access to. There's going to be sports and wellness facilities at the community center that have tennis courts, that have a gym, that have basketball courts and volleyball courts, and those are also going to be part of the beach club, so members can access those facilities. And finally, a comfortable parking lot. So if you have visits that want to come for the day, they can also park there. The look and feel of the beach club is very in line with what we've done with Simplemente Madera over the years. A lot of natural fibers, boho kind of style design. There's going to be a small event space for small gatherings, yoga, small birthday parties. There's going to be a restaurant, a formal restaurant, and then a beach restaurant next to the pool, and then a play area for kids with bocce ball, with ping pong tables, with the how do you call it, when you go on the line, the
zip line,
cornhole games. Just make it a lot of fun for kids and for adults too. That's the restaurant. That's the small event center. furniture can all be put. There's a nice storage space in the back of that building, so furniture can be put in the back if there's a big group doing yoga or a small gathering. You can put event furniture in it, and this is the overall look and feel we want to achieve at the beach club. Then the spa at Morgan's Rock, the Paslama Oasis, is also available for all community members. It's a sanctuary to relax, unwind, and indulge. Those are the treatments that we already offer there. That's the treatment room. There's 2 rooms. It's right in front of the Morgan's Rock Beach. It's a gorgeous space, very authentic. Then the community center, it's still being designed, but it's going to incorporate the technical school and the computer lab. That's where we're going to teach community members furniture making, metalwork, upholstery, craftsmanship, and computer service. This is a place where community members can also contribute with their knowledge to the Fab Lab. There's going to be outdoor recreational space for local communities and Ubuntu and house owners. This is a place where you can meet with the person, the cleaning lady maybe that's going to be, or the artist that is going to be doing content for your house. It's going to have a natural amphitheater, so we can have events there. We want to combine, bring Western culture to the community and also bring local culture to the Western community. So you could have theater, and you can also have typical dances from Nicaragua on the same community. So it's going to be a nice, multicultural space. There's going to be a kindergarten for those of you who have small kids. We want to have that space available. So if you want to work on the community, you can leave your kids there. There's already people with experience in kindergartens that are interested in putting running the kindergarten in the community center. The school, we're leaning towards the San Juan Day School. It's an existing school. We want to support that school and growing and bringing more, scaling that school. We don't think creating a new school for the community makes sense. We should build upon what's already existing. It's only 10-15 minutes from the community, so we can have a transport service for kids to the school. Most of the people that have their kids in the San Juan Day School are very happy. So I wouldn't suggest any other way. The fire station and emergency room is going to be right there on the community center, and the sports facilities that I mentioned earlier. The event center it's also in design. That's where weddings, retreats, concerts, pop-up dinners happen. It's a space for a couple hundred people, 200 to 250 people. It's going to be a spectacular architectural component. I can guarantee you're going to love the design. The space is beautiful. It has a spectacular view over the beach. It's a 270 degrees view over the ocean and also over forests.
Absolutely incredible. Incredible. Yeah.
It's a gorgeous spot. So beautiful. All events there should bring a lot of great energy and ambience. The biking and hiking trails, 30 miles of biking trails and running and cycling and horseback riding within the community. Those are some of the trails, some of the views that you can access from those trails. That's the Morgan's Rock beach, so you can see, the horseback riding on the beach, the views. Also water sports are going to be a big part of the activities that you can do on the community. Surfing is a big thing. Diving, we have a diving school that's currently operating in Ostional, who's gonna have their services for the community. Fishing, kayaking, paddleboarding, all of these activities are already existing. So it's gonna be available right away for homeowners. That's the Maderas Beach. That's the wave when it's nice and big. That spot is literally 4 minutes walking from the beachfront of our community. paddle boarding. We have already a battery of boats at Morgan's Rock, and those are going to be available for community owners, homeowners. Unfortunately, the Argonauta there sank a couple of years ago on a big storm, but we're building a similar boat on the beach, and we have another boat that's a 33-footer. That's not on the picture, but it's a great boat for surfers. If you want to go to Colorado, it takes probably 20 minutes on that boat. So a lot of fun activities. For those of you who like fishing is pretty good in the area. Mahi-mahi, sailfish, marlins, and so forth. For yogas and yogis, there's the Morgan's Rock yoga deck is the largest yoga deck in the country. It's going to be available for all community owners too, for your daily yoga classes, or if you want to organize yoga retreats. It's a great spot. You can also do events. You can see there what the space looks like. The beach is right in front of it. It's really a nice space. El Aguacate Natural Reserve, I already talked about the reserve, but I just want to show you a bit more images. That's the estuary. It's a beautiful estuary. It has an area that's very shallow waters, and a lot of birds go in the afternoon there. It's like a sanctuary for birds. It's gorgeous. For those of you who like bird watching, it's a treat. And then, animals, I won't get with all the pictures. There's so many. So I was there a couple days ago coming out of my house, and a beautiful anteater was coming out of the sand. It's a special place. So here I wanted to show you the whole area. This is the Morgan's Rock property on the left side. It's a big property, and then on the right side, on the bottom right, you can see the Ubuntu community. So on number 1 there, that's where the Hotel Morgan's Rock is. Number 2, the light green is I'm getting a little bit of return, sorry. Number 2 is the reserve. It's 400 hectares of reserve. Number 3 is the land strip. Number 4, it's the darkest green. That's where all the plantations are. That's where the modular home factory is going to be at. And then number 5 is where the community center is going to be. Number 6 is the farm. And number 7 is let me see if I can find.
Oh, let's mute Allison. I think that's where the feedback comes from.
Yeah. See if I can find it. Okay.
What is it? It's her?
Yes.
Allison, can you mute out?
Yeah.
There you go, like on the Zoom thing, like you can see all the people. They're all like looking at it. Like ours is just chaos.
Can you mute Allison?
In terms of technology and energy, we are developing a community app. We want all the community action to be at your fingertips, so you can be sitting on the beach club, having a kombucha, and book your diving trip for the next day, or booking the chef at home, so they're cooking in your house when you come back to your house. You can also book look at the community trails, the maps, and the difficulty level and the length of the trail, and pictures and comments of other community members. You can look at the calendar of events, and you can get involved. So we want people to stay engaged with the community, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible so you have visibility about everything that's happening in the community. Internet we knew it was important for you to connect to nature, and that's what we're aiming for, but we also know you still need to get connected to the world. So we're bringing fiber optics internet to the project. We have an agreement with Claro, who's already building The fiber optic service all the way up to our project is currently under construction and should be done before the end of the year. So all homeowners will have high-speed internet and a direct contract with them to whatever speed you need, based on your needs. The solar program for the community, this is something we are working on. It's still not fully defined. We're trying to understand better the local regulations for solar programs, but we're going to do everything in our power to have a solar park, a community solar program, so we can reduce the cost of energy for the community. And we have the right people to do it. In terms of residential options, these are the 6 communities that will be part of the Ubuntu. Bosques de Mahahual is the closest one to the beach, and it's the one we're launching, that we launched, a couple of weeks ago. This is really our first serious promotion of the community. Balcones de Mahahual and Balcones de San Lorenzo, those are lots with views, and they're going to be more leaning towards custom homes. Valle de Mahahual and Valle de San Lorenzo, we're thinking more tiny home villages, and then Los Malinches will be affordable homes for staff and members, working members of the community. The community center is right in the middle there, so we wanted Los Malinches to be very in the center of the community. So today, what we are offering to you is the Bosques de Mahahual. This is the phase 1 of our project. This is the master plan of it. This is where all the homes are going to be. The parking lots are, as you can see, peripheral. This is the event center, the farm, and the beach club. The house that is further away from the beach, it's literally a 6-minute walk to the beach. So this community is about beach proximity. It's not views. It's houses in the middle of the forest, walking distance to the beach. That's really what Bosques de Mahahual is all about. And from now on, I'm going to jump to a different platform to show you what the proposal. If you confirm you're interested in this community, this is what you'll get from Elena, and I'll talk about the sales process, the reservation process after it. But you'll get this file that has the master plan, so you can look at the master plan in more detail. It's going to show you also all the available lots. We have 68 lots on this phase. 2 of them are already sold. 4 of them are in process of being sold. We just started promoting this 2 weeks ago, so we're actually surprised of how fast this is happening. And I think, Justin, you've been instrumental, and thank you again for making this happen. So there you can see all the lots. We have premium lots that are the ones from 1 to 10 and from 26 to 32. The premium lots are designed or are conceived so you can put the 3-bedroom villa or the 2-bedroom villa on them. You can still build a 2-bedroom villa or a 3-bedroom villa on other lots, but you would have to buy a couple lots to do it. So we try to define those lots as the premium lots. In terms of housing options, we have a 3-bedroom villa. This is the 3-bedroom villa. It's a very comfortable space. It has a beautiful deck. It has a pool in front of it. It's got an open kitchen when you enter. It's got a nice open living room and dining room. It's got a beautiful terrace and a pool overlooking the forest. It's got 2 bedrooms that have their own bathrooms. It's got a laundry room too, and it's got a a large and comfortable master bedroom with two closets and a large bathroom with a bathtub and a rain shower. So this is our 3-bedroom. It also has two lofts. One is on the living room, on top of the kitchen, and the other one is on the master bedroom. So you could have an extra space for a TV room or a guest room, and you can also have a studio on the master bedroom. So it's a very spacious model. We'll send all the details if you confirm your interest. The 2-bedroom villa is a similar concept, but it doesn't have the large master bedroom there. It's same thing, a beautiful open kitchen on a living room and dining room with plus a deck and a couple of bedrooms, both with comfortable bathrooms and a pool. It also has a small parking lot for golf carts. If anyone wants to have their own golf cart, you're free to do so. We're going to have 2 or 3 golf carts that are going to receive people, take their luggage and them to the house. The idea is that you park your car at the community and then you don't need to touch your car until you leave. So it's optional. We hope not too many people need their own golf course, but if they do, it's there. It's going to be also a nice storage room right in front of the house where you can put bikes and surfboards and coolers, big things. So those are all the houses have large storage spaces on the out decks. The 2-bedroom cottage, it's still very comfortable too. It's got an open kitchen with the living room. It's got a spacious laundry room / storage room for food. It's got 2 bedrooms, 1 master bedroom and a secondary bedroom. It's got a nice little deck with a pool, a barbecue area. Same thing, large storage space in front of the parking lot. And it's got a loft on top of the kitchen area where you can have either a TV room or a guest room, or play area for kids. Kids love going up in stairs and having a tighter space to play on. Then the 1-bedroom cottage. This is a similar look and feel as you can see. It's got 1 large bedroom with a bathroom. It's got an open kitchen and a living room, and it's got a nice terrace and also storage space outside for surfboards and bikes. And it's got an additional loft. It's a fairly large loft on this one for a TV room or an additional guest room. So basically, the 3-bedroom villas have 3 bedrooms plus 2 lofts. The 2-bedroom villas has 2 bedrooms plus 1 loft, and then 2-bedroom and the 1-bedroom cottages both have a loft. So there's plenty of space to receive friends and family if needed. In terms of pricing and payments, these are the prices of the first phase. The 3-bedroom villa, the 2-bedroom villa. Once we finish selling the first 20 homes, we'll move on to phase 2. And once we finish selling the next 20 homes, we'll move on to phase 3. So we're staging out the pricing. Obviously, we're trying to give better pricing for the first comers. So keep that in mind. In terms of on the proposal, you'll also see what the estimated fees are going to be for your running costs, the annual property tax, the municipal cadastral value, the insurance cost, the club membership. We estimate it's going to be around $120 per month. The entrance fee to the club is already included in your house, so you don't need to pay the entrance fee that other members of the club might pay. We're opening up the club to external members of the community, so we can keep the fees as low as possible. And we're also going to have day passes that are going to be gauged. If we feel there's too many people, then we lower the day passes. But the whole idea is that we keep the membership fees as low as possible by driving traffic into it. The HOA fees, again, I think they're going to be quite low compared to other developments in the area. And that's why all the amenities are basically outside of the condominium. So you're not paying for amenities necessarily that you're not going to use. So the farm is going to be its own amenity, the event center, and the beach club is obviously the only amenity that is not a fixed cost, but a running cost of the membership fees. In terms of condominium,
yeah, and I just wanted to touch on that because I think the other piece that, again, there's just so much abundance that we're building here in the community. On top of that membership, you're also going to get access to the sports stuff that we're building, the basketball courts, volleyball courts, tennis, a full gym. These things are nearly impossible to find here in Nicaragua, and we're going to build that for the community, and that's going to be a part of those fees. So,
absolutely.
Again, we talked about so much that we're doing here and bringing so much to the abundance of creating the space for everyone. And that's a key component, is just having those facilities beyond the trails, having those sports facilities so the kids and adults can have fun and get their workouts in and be, do it all right there in the community.
Absolutely. Thank you, Justin, for the clarification. Last but not least, on the proposal, you'll see the condominium rules outlined, so you can, check what we're thinking in terms of rules for the community. There's nothing crazy about it. It's all common sense, but it's all there, so you can go over it. And then you'll have the promise of sale. So at this stage, what we're offering is the ability to reserve your lot and the house model. We're still doing the incorporation of the condominium. So until we have the condominium fully registered, we cannot do a final purchase contract. But we anticipate that that's going to happen in the next, couple of months. So as soon as we have that, we'll be able to do a proper, a formal sales contract. And that sales contract, by that time, we should also have all the details of the houses, with what's included, the finishes and the engineering and all the plans of the houses. We're working very hard on getting all that done. So in the next couple of months, we can finalize. But we don't want to wait for people to be able to reserve their lot. So what we're doing is basically a promise of sale that in the next couple of months will then give you a final purchase agreement. I hope that clarifies the project. One last thing I wanted to share is the reservation process, so you know what to expect. It's fairly simple. What we're saying is, after this call, if you're interested in looking at lots and house options, Elena, you just send a WhatsApp to Elena. She'll send you the information. You choose your lot and house, send her the lot and house to the same WhatsApp. She'll send you the same document that we just went through, so you can review all the details that you want to take a look at. You can sign the sales agreement right there online, send the deposit, and then welcome, you're a member of the community. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to take the decision. This is the WhatsApp number of Elena. She's extremely proactive and responsive, a lot more than me. So I'm very happy that she's on the team. You love her. She's a great soul and great energy. I hope I gave you a clear enough vision of what we're trying to create here. And any question or a suggestion, please feel free to open up the mic and ask. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, brother. That was beautiful. Yeah, it's a lot to go through. Appreciate you guys sticking with it and asking all the questions. Lots of great questions coming through. Yeah, Emily, great question. Yes, there's financing being provided by local Nicaraguan banks. Correct me if I'm wrong, Arnold. It's 30% down, 20-year financing with I think 9-point-something percent.
9.5.
9.5% interest, which is a killer deal actually here in Nicaragua. It's amazing. So fortunately, we already have that in place and ready to go for folks. Also, just know that, you know, in Nicaragua, to get your residency so that you don't have to cross the border every 90 days, you do need a $30,000 investment, and this can go towards that. So the deposit you would leave, the $40,000 deposit that we're asking for to secure your lot can apply to that. And we have firms already working with us to help community members that want to go ahead and kick off that residency process. I'm almost finished with mine. I should have mine in the next few weeks because I own a business here and I've been working on that process for some time. So it's a pretty easy process, but it's nice to have firms that can just execute and get it done for you, and just know that your deposit would go towards that process. You can kick off that process with the deposit.
Arnold, Alejandro had also a question about the timeline on the project, and Cindy had a question about the tiny homes.
Okay,
Like
so,
when we
so timeline right now, we're as soon as we get the first 10 homes reserved, we're going to start putting in all the electrical, water, and infrastructure. So we expect that to happen very soon. We already have 2 sold and 4 in progress, and hopefully we'll reach the 10 homes soon, so we can get all the infrastructure in place. That's going to take around 3 months. We expect to get it done. Once we get all that done, we can start getting the advance payments for the home construction. We're asking for the home first payment 3 months before we start building the home. So that gives us time to cut the wood, dry the wood, treat the wood, and start putting all the pieces together. So I think the first homes will start being built on site by April next year. That's what I anticipate. And then the speed of that construction will depend on how fast houses are reserved. We're thinking running batches of 10 homes at a time at the factory, at the modular home factory. We're planning to have the factory up and running on site by the end of this year, early beginning of next year. We're already working on that currently. So that's the timeline. Beach Club.
Yeah.
Will happen,
I just want to make one comment in general so that people understand how building works here in Nicaragua, because this is another part of this project that just absolutely reinvents the way that building happen. And because Arnold has perfected this process, I mean, normally to build a home in Nicaragua, it takes a year and a half minimum, because they're using so much concrete. You get these density within the homes, which doesn't create a good energetic, even though they can be in beautiful places. And his ability to prefab these homes is one of the reasons we built these models. And I think Arnold can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, if you choose your model and you want to do some changes to that model, you can work with him and his team to do that. But the goal is really to be able to build these structures and these homes in a very, very quick way. Literally, I mean, one of the buildings that he built for Prima Evo grocery delivery service that will be supporting the farms in Ubuntu, I mean, it literally took them 2 weeks to put the building up. It was incredible, I mean, which is just completely unheard of here in Nicaragua. The time that it takes to construct a simple building is just almost ridiculous in my mind, because I'm from the States and I see how, you know, the building process is there. So
Yeah, it's part of the beauty of the prefab construction is that not only you can build the house very, very quickly, but also you don't have the messy construction sites because everything is already prefabricated in a factory before you ship it to the site. So all you're going to see are house components being put together, but you're not going to have, you know, concrete laying on the floor and messy construction sites. It's going to be fairly clean. So yeah, and houses, once the house is pre-manufactured at the factory, the on-site assembly goes pretty quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if even the 3 bedrooms can go up in 3 to 4 weeks maximum. So it's once you get the house to be start building on the site, you'll be amazed about how fast they come together.
Also, I want to be sure. Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, I want to be sure we covered all the questions. Cindy was asking about the tiny homes, like if we give some info on the timeline when it will be available.
Yeah, the tiny home, I think let me go back a little bit. We're planning to have the first tiny home project for middle of next year, third quarter or fourth quarter of 2022. We have a lot of progress on the design of the tiny homes, but we still have a lot of work on the master planning of the area. So if she's interested, if she's interested in the tiny homes, we can send her the catalog of the homes with design, so she gets a better notion of what they look like, and if she's really interested in reserving a space for that, we could talk about it. Again, if more people is interested in tiny home, and we got enough people lined up for it, we can accelerate the master planning of those areas or residencies. With 10 homes, we can start master planning that.
Thank you, Arnoldo.
I'm not sure. Am I muted or can you hear me?
We can hear you.
You're well.
Oh,
Hi, Cindy.
awesome. Yay. Hi.
So great to hear your voice.
First, yeah, you too. Hi.
Love you so much. I love you so much.
I love you. So, Arnold, thank you. And all of you. And first of all, Justin, his sister's been my best friend for over 27 years. So I've watched him grow he was already an amazing human, but this is such a privilege and an honor to hear what's been going on and what you guys have been working on. So I'm really happy I just taught my yoga class and that's why I was a few minutes late. But, so I guess my question about the tiny home stuff, I'm in California and the COVID thing and the climate and everything is and crazy. I'm a single person with no kids. And so I don't personally have a need for a 3 or 4, the bigger homes. And I'm kind of on a minimalist, like I'm doing a van conversion now. And I'm just a hippie, basically. Mm-hmm. And I had a couple, I guess, desires and questions, and maybe that'll be down the road. But I guess my point was, 1 bedrooms are great, but I'm doing a van conversion and kind of scaling down in my mind with material things of what do I really need. So a tiny home is super up my alley. And not to mention, but the most important part, though I believe we can manifest whatever we want, that's more going to be on the scale of something that hopefully I can potentially afford. And I've been dealing with cancer, so it's been a really slippery, crazy slope for me, but I'm looking for community. I'm looking for a community where I want to be of service. So I teach yoga and I grew up with horses and I grow my own food here and I'm treating my cancer holistically. I love children because I didn't have any. So I've managed yoga studios here in the Bay Area. I've been teaching here for 17 years and have been blessed with a great following of people, several of which I know would be interested in the tiny homes that are also in the same boat as me. if more information or as that develops, or if I feel like it's, if it's something that they can afford, I could probably bring a caravan down there and fill up your village. But I wanted to know too, with regards to, I had 15 years of bartending, and I'm not your, I don't want to say ideal candidate, because that's not how I want to present that, but I'm not just coming in to look for buying a second home or having a vacation place. I'm looking to settle in and spend the whatever given days I have with wonderful, like-minded people that are that are having that nature preserve for the animals. I just have loved everything you're doing. But in what way would people like myself that aren't on the higher scale end of the bigger homes and things, if I'm more of a contributor in the community part working, what do you have, workspace for that? Or is there like a work buy option? Or have you given that thought, or is that in the plans, or is that?
Absolutely. As I mentioned on the beginning of the presentation, I think you are the person we need on the community. We want content generators. We want people that can run the yoga studio. We want people that can bartend if they like it you could do cocktail classes at the farmhouse. You can teach.
You know what? They would be tired of seeing my face, because I would sign up for every one of those jobs. I love it. I'm your girl. You're like, oh, the bartender didn't show up, and I'll just come in with my little shin taker. But I love all those things. I build things. I do decks. I do tile, and I'm a strong, not letting cancer back me down chick. So I'm your girl with 1,000 feet in every pond. So with regards to skill, and I just want to be of service and of use. And how can I live there if I don't have any money? And how can I live there and contribute to this with minimal housing? I'm a minimalist. I don't need anything. I would love to have a dog. I lost my dog, but
yeah, well, that's the whole point, is that there's enough abundance within the community, because there's so many people living there that you can service the community and get paid within the community for the services you create. That's the whole point. And when I was saying, it was sad to see how these areas were left, hanging by not by intention, but COVID really hurt all these communities that were living off tourism, and suddenly they're all gone. Imagine if all your clients live within the community. That's the whole point.
That would be amazing.
So we don't need, we don't rely as much. We'll still need, traffic to the community, people that come for the weekend, and they go to the farmers market, and they come, to the plays or the courses that we set up on this was inspired. There's a beautiful community we visited in Atlanta. It's called Serenbe. They've done an amazing community there. We spent 4 days understanding how they did it. And this community, they have 4,000 visitors every weekend, because there's so much content. They do, educational activities, sports activities, concerts, outdoor theater, farming, permaculture. They have such an amazing agenda of events that there's always people that are coming to the community. It creates abundance. It creates economic development. So members of the community are always busy. That's what we want. That's what we want. And what creates that abundance is really the residents of the community. So we need people like you. With the second homeowners is not a preferred resident, because some of them might just, put their house on rentals, which is fine. We have nothing against it, but they're not going to bring the same level of value to the community than somebody who's going to be a resident of the community. And that's why, as I said originally, we want to have affordable homes. We want to have tiny homes. We want to have, beautiful, comfortable homes for those who can afford it. We want to have, awesome custom homes with views for those who prefer to stay in their house and look at the view. We're not judging anyone, but we know we need all of them to build a real community.
Yay. Let me know when I need to get my airplane ticket off. I'll just
I already told you should have got it already.
And everything else. Thank you for this. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Cindy, for sharing your story.
Yeah.
You're a warrior.
Thanks.
Yeah, a lot of good questions coming through. I'm just, of course, Brittany, any skills. I mean, I've already looked through some of you guys filled out the interest form. I'll plug that in here. So if you guys can take a moment when we're done for this call to fill out the interest form, that would be super helpful, so that we can get to know you better. And yeah, absolutely. As Arnold said, we want to tap into all the skills and the labor of love that you guys have, to help us, co-create in the community and bring those services right to the people that are already going to be in the community. So absolutely, we want that for everyone to be able to share their labor of love and the skills they have and bring that to the table for us to co-create in the community to serve the community better. So, when there's challenges or things going on, I mean, obviously we built in a lot of abundance, but human nature says that we're going to run into challenges. And that's, when you have like-minded people working together in harmony and peace, then you solve these problems very easily. And absolutely, if you have skills like being a barber and engineering, like all those things are going to play a key role here. And I think what's so important about this stage of the process is that, and another reason that I'm here in Nicaragua and we're working on projects in Nicaragua is because it's extremely malleable. I mean, to try and do this, 2 hours away from here in Costa Rica, it would take you 6 years to build this because of all the layers of stuff that, been built up and, these governments sort of getting in the way of basically creating, these types of communities. That doesn't exist at that level here in Nicaragua. The government is very supportive of these types of projects, and they're excited to see that abundance flow in. And they're streamlining things so that it makes it easy for Arnold and his team to get this type of project done. And obviously the number of decades that him and his family have been here doing great things in this country, that really greases the slide with the government to allow things to get moved and done faster. So that's a big component of this project is just timeline. I mean, the fact that we'll be able to move in as early as May of next year is just incredible. And all the stuff that we're going to start creating, the energetic flow that'll come even as early as, towards the end of this year with building the beach club and starting to build the retreat center near the beach so we can start to get some energetic flow and people coming and hosting retreats even before the homes are built. It's just incredible what's possible here in Nicaragua that it really can't be done anyplace else. Seeing more questions come in.
Yes, on the deposit. Yes, it's a 40,000 deposit on the house, and then it's a payment schedule. I can also provide it later for those who are interested. And I think we had a question on the consumption of the drugs and alcohol on the site. And Arnold, I think maybe briefly we can explain that the idea we want also to filter the community members, and if in case of any disturbance, and we can guarantee that the community will not be affected with the members who has not appropriate behavior and.
Yeah, the condominium rules will be established. So we try to keep the community as healthy as possible. We can all have a drink once in a while. We can all have, but we're trying to avoid, disturbance within the community. So if a member is constantly disturbing, the rules are meant to create a order. And so one of the rules is that if you're drunk within the community, that we can ask you to go back home so you're not disturbing other community members. And that's the sort of thing that it's more common sense. We're not trying to do crazy rules. We're just trying to keep, if you have kids and you have family, you want this community to be peaceful and well, managed. So the condominium rules are meant to do that, to put some of the governing rules of the community.
Right. Thank you, Arnoldo.
Yeah, it's also a question about, at this stage, Amy was asking about the 40,000 deposit. You can, and maybe you can speak to this, Arnold. Right now, you can reserve the lot, and you're not being forced to build on that lot right away. They can decide to wait. I think we've got it up to 18 months.
Yeah.
If you want to wait to build on the lot, so you're not forced to build on the lot right away. We do want you to build within that 18 months because we don't want it just a community of lots that people have purchased and they're not actually participating. That's not what this community is about. And that happens. We've seen that in other communities where people just buy lots and then they just sit for years as a lot and never get built out or used. And so, we're not forcing anybody to build on the lot right away. This will help a lot of folks that want to be a part of this community and start to contribute immediately without necessarily having to build their home immediately. So that gives everybody a lot of flexibility financially as they sort things out, but it also allows you to trigger the residency process here in Nicaragua even before you decide to build a home itself. So we thought about that, and we understand that some people may not want to build right away, and that's a component of being able to get involved with the community without having to financially invest everything right away in the timeline that we have currently. Did I get that right, Arnold?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Justin.
And just to be clear, Arnold, basically what we want in this phase of the community, this development of the 6 communities, is to focus on the models that are available, and your team is willing to do some customization around that based on needs, and we're not entertaining other the other types of structures being put on the lot, such as dome homes or other custom homes at this time, right? At this part of the community.
Not on this one. The custom homes we're thinking are going to be on the balcones properties, but for the Bosque de Mahahual, we're trying to keep that tight. Not because we want to control all the designs and everything, but just because it's a construction system that is well thought through. It gives us flexibility, but also agility in the construction. It reduces maintenance costs for homeowners, and it creates a look and feel that is harmonic with the rest of the community. You can look at some of the custom homes we've done. There's a website called Casas de Balcones. We can if you write to Elena, she can send you the link to look at some of the custom homes we've built. But for this particular phase, we have defined models. Tiny homes will be more. There's going to be a bit more diversity on the design concepts. But even the houses that you saw today, there's a level of customization on the finishes, on the furniture packages. I mean, you can create a wide variety of look and feels in the interior based on the choices you make. And there's some tweaks here and there that you can do also on the house to make it more in tune with what you like, if that's the case.
I had one more question. If I'm not sure if whoever was questioning if you were finished. Are you guys finished? I had two more questions.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I wasn't clear. I saw like randomly a question about the governing. Is there going to be like a kind of a board of community directors? And did I thought he was addressing that, and I wasn't sure if I heard that right.
Yes.
And would they like be elected by the community, or just there was that question. And then the other thing was, with regards to people buying lots and sitting on them, what is the deal with, I guess when I see somebody sitting on a lot or and not building, what's going to be the parameters around buying the property and reselling it later? Are people going to come in and get in early and wait till the value raises and flip it? And is it going to be that kind of vibe, or what is the stipulations around? One thing that I've seen done and that I wish would be done, which makes a lot of sense, like in Culebra down in Puerto Rico, I know that they have like a 5-year turnaround. So there's not this influx of people coming in and trying to, benefit off an investment, which nothing wrong with that. But if this is really a community, you don't want it to be so transient. So they have like a 5-year thing. So if you're going to come in and that's what you want to do, at least for 5 years, you have to, inhabit that home. You have to live in that home before you flip it and sell it. So what is the climate around, what's the status like around that, the idea around buying and selling, and are people going to be able to rent these out? Is this a VRBO, Airbnb type situation? Or is this truly like a community of people, living there I gathered you wanted that. I'm just curious about some of these other things. Sorry, I don't mean to have so many questions.
No, great.
No, they're great questions.
It's a fantastic question, Cindy, and I'll try to answer. First, on the governance of the community, every residence will have their own HOA. The HOA will govern, basically common spaces and security. Because we're leaving a lot of the amenities outside of the condominiums, we're trying to make it as easy as possible to govern those condominiums. And yes, the condominium will be ruled by a selected, or elected members, and the developer will be part of the board until all lots are sold. And that's on the turnaround. I think you have a great idea. Our goal is to create a real community, and we definitely lean towards residents that are going to live and bring value to the community. It's very hard to control, how that's going to work. And I think your idea of a 5-year turnaround makes a lot of sense. So we'll look more into that. In terms of construction, as Justin said, we're putting an 18 months maximum time before you build the house. So people are not necessarily buying lots to flip them. And I think maybe it's a good idea that even during those 18 months, once you reserve your lot, you can flip it. We want a community, we want residents, we want value to be brought. We want people that share the values and that they're buying because they like the community, not because it's a great financial deal.
Right. That's kind of why I want to escape where I'm at, where we live, and just the emphasis on that part of life is not appealing to me. But thank you for answering that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was watching the chat here. Arnold, you expressed that it's, the community members will get first right to purchase that home, and the developer would get the right to purchase the home before it could go on the open market.
Yeah.
Oh, like first right of refusal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That's great too.
Yeah. so that way the actual existing community members would have first right to purchase the home from the other member. And in worst case, the developer would also have a right if all the community members said, no, we don't want to buy it. And then because it may be in the developer's best interest to own that property and buy it at a certain value. And before we really let, you know, any kind of real estate agents come in or any of that traditional stuff to play out. So the community would have the first right to purchase that home.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, and we understand that some people are going to buy these as second homes as they transition from their existing flow, and they, you know, once they step into this energy, as I did coming down here, and you realize that this is actually the life you want to live, you know, there's going to be a transition period, and the community will run a rental program so that we can rent it out for you, and some of those proceeds will go into Ubuntu Institute. So, you know, won't be you can just throw your home up on Airbnb and random people coming into the community. We really want to keep our control of that energy within the community and the energy coming in so that we welcome people to our community and we help them understand what this is about and how it may be different than other places they stayed. And we want to, you know, as they leave the community, really thank them for being there and hopefully carrying on some of the values and the mission that we're on and sharing that story with others as they leave the community as well. And the other thing that we didn't get a chance to cover in the presentation is really this is a framework, and we want to build a lot of these communities, not only here in Nicaragua, but beyond, across the world. So, you know, this village farms concept that Arnold has built will allow a lot of landowners and community builders to quickly have a turnkey solution they can tap into to basically launch their own community very quickly with a lot of these pieces and components that sometimes can really hold up communities in the building process and in the sort of amenities elements of these communities from getting off the ground. And so we're excited to create a network of these communities over time throughout Nicaragua in the short term, and then beyond, you know, throughout Central America and other countries where, you know, this type of community can be built relatively quickly, and then eventually creating a network to where community members can move around to different areas and experience different communities that are based on the same Ubuntu principles in their own unique way. So that's the longer term goals here too.
Well said, Justin. We actually have a couple properties that we think could potentially become Village Farms properties in the future. One is in coffee farms, beautiful natural settings too, forests, coffee, cocoa, learn how to, you know, roast coffee and do the coffee spa and grow vegetables in a mountain setting, waterfalls, lots of animals too. But I don't want to get into that yet. I think we need to build this first community. It's our focus right now, and hopefully this will expand as the model gets you know, developed.
Awesome. I'm still got a lot of great questions here.
Yes, on the reselling, we have a politic that, of course, owner can resell the property, but as a developer, want to keep the right or reserve the right of the first purchase. So the person who wants to sell has to give an offer to the developer, and we take 30 or probably maybe 60 days to evaluate it.
That we keep the value of the community. The exactly. Developer is not there to try to make money on top of sales. It's just protecting the value of the community. That's our main goal. So if somebody wants to do a fire sale, we're giving the first right of refusal to homeowners so they can buy the property, but we don't want to lower the value of our joint community. We want to protect that value, and that's the reason for that rule. That's it. No, it's protecting our own value.
Yeah, just to answer Cindy, great question on property that's vegan, self-sustaining, off-grid properties. I mean, these are all things that are true to my heart, and I think you know that. I think what I realized through this process is that in the where we are now in this space, it's much healthier to not limit ourselves to those particular labels and boxes. And even with the off-grid, on-grid, I mean, what we plan to do is build a solar park that may turn out to be an option that you can take as a homeowner, and that off-grid solar park will be backed up by the grid. So we're really trying to pull in the best of both worlds. I think Ubuntu is a key component of showing the world that you can have the technology and also be deeply connected with nature, right? And I think that Ubuntu and what we're doing here with the Village Farms concept is the key to planting those seeds in the minds of humanity that says, hey, you don't have to be, just on off the grid trying to grow your own food and run it all yourself without being connected to anything. You can do this in a way that addresses both sides of that sort of approach to living and benefit from both sides of that. So I think that more of those types of communities and more of those values will continue to expand as free energy technology finally gets released to humanity, as more and more folks realize that consuming meat probably isn't the best for their health. That's all happening every day in humanity as people continue to awaken. And but I think that we can be the bridge. I think Ubuntu can be the bridge that helps people realize what serves them best. And we're hoping to kind of use the best of both of those worlds to serve this community and others.
And that makes sense. And I like how you put that to not like categorize and label. And I agree with that. And that's a great thing to bring up too. And that does make sense that you can opt for that and not opt for that. And cool. Thanks for touching on that.
Yeah, these are all things that I've, been through that process on a personal level too. So there are things that I wish were already here for humanity, but while we're still waiting for that to fully manifest, we have to work with the things that we have, right? It's the same reason you need money to invest and put a deposit and come into these properties. It's the world that we're living in up until now, and I know that abundance from a monetary standpoint will be shifting soon here on Earth for everyone. But we're still kind of playing in both dimensions.
Swimming in both pools. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sort of like the catalyst. Like if we can get things, the momentum moving in this energetic, because that's what that is, right? We're creating New Earth with just talking on the Zoom about what we're creating together. And if we can bring that energy forward, then we're just going to manifest more of that abundance. Get more. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And
nice. Right. Thank you for that.
Good to see you. I don't know. I think we cover most of the questions.
Yeah.
And
again, guys, if there's more questions, we're a message away. Elena is super responsive. Justin is also responsive. I'm responsive. Any questions you might have after this presentation, you can send us a message. We'll be happy to answer. And thank you again for all your questions and some of the ideas that you have shared are going to be incorporated into what we're doing. Thanks again for your time, for staying this long on the call. It's been almost 2 hours now. So out of respect of your time, I think we want to thank you again. Justin and Elena, thanks again for setting this up. And we'll be in touch with everyone.
Yeah, so much love and gratitude. Thank you for hanging in there. If you have questions, please keep them coming. I know you're going to sleep tonight, sleep well, and you're going to wake up with 6 more questions.